This is the radio and CD player from my Ford Expedition 2005 model, and it came out before the started putting the Bluetooth capability, auxiliary jacks that is available in the newer models of Fords and other cars. And since the CD player in this is broken and it only holds about 15 songs per disc, I decided that I wanted Bluetooth capability and I wanted the ability to hook it up to a player or my cell phone. And so I've decided to modify this unit. And so anyhow, I'm going to show you how to do it. First of all, you take out the CD player and toss it since it's no good. And then you're going to take the faceplate off. There's 4 screws holding that together, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, that you can wiggle that faceplate off. And when you get it off, you can find a place on the circuit board in the back. And there's a gap at the lower part, right above the menu button there. And you can use that spot to drill a hole through the faceplate. And then that's where I'm going to mount the auxiliary jack. You're also going to have to modify the chassis a bit to accommodate the jack that you're going to put in that hole that you just drilled. There's a tab right behind that hole on the chassis that you can cut out. Here it is marked. I just took a pair of pliers and wiggled it until it broke. You can buy auxiliary jacks at Radio Shack for probably a buck or two. I salvaged this one out of my junk box. It was an old extension jack for headphones. And so I removed all the plastic to expose the pins on the backside, soldered my wires to them. You can use coax. I used the twisted pair from an old internet cable. And since they're twisted pairs, it should be plenty good enough to run the 6 or 7 inches that you're going to use it for to get to the back connector. This is the pin out for your connector that you're going to solder to in the back. Left or right, it didn't matter to me. I chose to just hook them up at random. But one side goes to pin 1 and 2, positive on 1, negative on 2. And the other side goes to 9 and 10, positive on 9, negative on 10. Now, neither one or any of these pins are grounded, so they need to be isolated. The ground for this, the common, which I call negative in this case, goes to the shaft of the barrel of my input jack.
Okay, now this is not easy. You can see I had to bend pins back and forth to try to get all 4 of these wires in there, but I managed. If you're not real good with a soldering iron and you don't feel like taking a chance, then you can access the pins right there. That's 1, 2, 9, and 10. So anyhow, I checked and none of these are grounded, so the shield, I guess, is separate. So you can't ground any of these wires. They have to go from the casing of the input jack and the signals all isolated from ground all the way to this point. Okay, I'm going to leave the top off just temporarily until I get it tested. Put it back in the car. Okay, so here we are. We got all these wires hanging out here, and the 2 I'm interested in are the power and the speakers. This is the input from the DVD player, and this is power and speakers. So, regardless whether you have a DVD player or not, you'll have this and this. Regardless, even if the DVD player is not there, this harness will be there, and there'll be a jack on the back of your radio for it. This is for the control panel, and your car may not have that one. So anyhow, the inputs for the auxiliary are pins 1, 2, 9, and 10 on this connector. Okay, so it's done. There's your aux input. Tested it, it works. And you connect it directly into your cell phone, or you can buy you one of these for around $15. It's a Bluetooth adapter, and pair it to your phone. Plug it in here and hit the aux button. If you've got a DVD player in here like I do, you need to, on the DVD player, hit the aux button, or it's going to try to play the DVD. So anyhow, that's the only complicated part of it. I'm glad I did this. I'm not even going to put the CD player back in here because I don't need it. CD only holds like 15 songs. Your cell phone can hold hundreds. So I'm done. I'm going to button it up and put it back in. Later.
There's plenty of videos on YouTube that will teach you how to take the radio out. There's 4 screws, 7mm, and I don't know what the SA equivalent is, but 7mm will work. And there's about 6 clips around the dashboard. Got to lower the steering wheel and put it down in drive to kind of wiggle it out. But this is how you put it back in. And so anyhow,